Rain in the Face, a renowned Hunkpapa Lakota Sioux leader and warrior, was a key figure in the 1876 Battle of Little Bighorn, where Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer and his 7th Cavalry suffered a devastating defeat. Known for his fierce courage in combat, Rain in the Face also harbored a deep grudge against Custer, whom he accused of slaughtering his brother and sister in an earlier conflict. Some historical narratives suggest Rain in the Face participated in the assault on Custer's troops and may have delivered the fatal strike that ended Custer's life. Yet historians debate this claim, leaving the exact details of Custer's demise uncertain. After the battle, Rain in the Face eventually surrendered to U.S. authorities and served time in captivity. Upon his release, he emerged as a vocal supporter of Native American rights and a celebrated performer in Wild West exhibitions, where he shared his wartime experiences. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to help grow our channel. Now, if you want a real story, I'll give you one, straight from my own life. Back in my younger days, before I needed these crutches, I was a dangerous man. My spirit is at peace now, but back then I lived for battle and the hunt. Women admired me, but men feared me. Fighting was my passion, more than food, more than anything. Soldiers trembled at my name, and the Rees and Crow Scouts would wake up feeling for their scalps when they knew I was near. I was a storm on the battlefield, and my reputation alone could send chills down a warrior's spine. Harry, knowing how warriors like to boast, interrupted. "We believe you were fierce, Rain," Harry said. "But tell us, how did Tom Custer overpower you? If you were so mighty, how did a man as slight as Tom Custer best you?" The question visibly unsettled Rain. He scowled, his pride stung. Rain was a towering figure, 5 feet 9 inches and 195 pounds, while Captain Tom Custer was far smaller. After a long pause, Rain finally relented, recounting his version of events. To everyone's shock, he didn't stop there. He went on to reveal his first-hand account of the Custer massacre. His words were vivid, his hands painting the scene as he relived that bloody day with raw intensity. Decades of silence broken. Rain in the Face finally reveals his account. For years, military officers and government agents attempted to pry the truth from Rain in the Face about the battle, but he refused to speak. They tried every tactic, kindness, bribes, even intimidation, but nothing worked. His reputation as Custer's killer was so legendary that the poet Longfellow immortalized him in verse. So when Rain finally broke his silence, it stunned everyone. I'm recording his words exactly as interpreter McLaughlin relayed them. Rain began. 2 winters before the great fight, Gall and Sitting Bull made camp at Standing Rock. All our people there stood against the government. We were Hunkpapa Sioux, fearless. The Yanktonais were tame Indians, clinging to the agency, begging for food and supplies. Life was good in our warrior camp, dancing, horse races, target shooting, games. Buffalo and deer were plentiful, and our pony herds stretched far. The young women favored me, but they'd provoke me for sport. When my temper flared, I craved battle. One evening, a girl dared me to ride to Fort Lincoln and kill a white man. I warned her it was suicide, soldiers everywhere, Scouts watching. She mocked me. "A true warrior doesn't fear. If you're weak, stay. I'll find a Sundance dancer with courage." That sealed it. The girls giggled, but the young men stayed silent. They knew me. I'd have slain any who laughed. I returned to my lodge, blackened my face, and armed myself. Under night's cover, I rode 45 miles north to Fort Lincoln. For 2 days, I watched, waiting to strike a soldier. I could have killed a Ree woman or a lumberman, but I wanted a soldier's buttons for that mocking girl. When I delivered them, she stitched them proudly onto her shawl. Then, at dawn, I spotted the trader and the horse doctor walking to a spring. Yellow hair, Custer and his troop were riding back, just 100 yards off. I charged, shot the traitor, and crushed the doctor's skull with my club. Arrows finished them. I was slicing off buttons when Yellow Hair heard the gunfire and wheeled his men around. No time for scalps. I vaulted onto my pony and taunted them to give chase. They pursued me to the Cannonball River. That winter, I visited the Standing Rock Agency store. No rations for me. I'd refused the treaty. The one-armed storekeeper was there. I feared neither him nor his 30 bald-headed soldiers. They ambushed me from behind, swarmed me, flung me into a wagon, and pinned me down all the way to Lincoln's guardhouse. They shamed me. No chief's treatment, just chains, a barren cell, and a single thin blanket. The harsh winter and a warrior's revenge. All winter long, the icy wind howled through the cracks in the walls, covering me in snow. The cold bit deep. Once Little Hair let me outside, and the soldiers urged me to run. I knew their game. They wanted an excuse to shoot me in the back, so I looked Little Hair in the eye and swore that if I ever escaped, I'd carve out his heart and devour it. They kept me chained to a white prisoner, but one night we broke free. Bullets whizzed past us as we fled, scrambling for cover along the Heart River's banks. My companion sawed through our shackles with a knife, but they caught him by dawn. I vanished into the wilderness, though I knew the hunt for me would never end. When I rejoined Sitting Bull and Gall, even they feared the consequences of sheltering me. So I sent Little Hair a message, a buffalo hide painted with a dripping heart, a reminder. My oath still stood. And when our paths crossed again, I kept my promise. The truth behind Custer's last stand. That's all I'll say of that. Much of my story aligned with the Army's records, the killings of the sutler and Dr. Hunsinger, but we pressed for the tale of Tom Custer's heart. McFadden shoved a sketch of Custer's charge toward Rain. Did the battle look like this? Rain's laughter erupted like thunder. Lies! Soldiers didn't swing sabers. They fought with rifles and pistols. They dismounted, every fourth man clutching reins. We lashed ourselves to our ponies, riding bare-skinned and painted, swirling like a storm around them. This drawing shows us with bows, but we had deadlier weapons. Their rifles jammed, cartridges stuck inside. I saw dozens littering the ground, unfired. When their guns failed, we crushed skulls with war clubs. Easy as butchering sheep. Some begged. We showed no mercy. White men's pictures always lie. Here. He flipped the paper, sketching a rough S. This is the Little Bighorn. Our village curved along it like a strung bow. How many lodges? Harry interrupted. Countless. 4,000 warriors, maybe 6, lodges like grass in a prairie fire. Sitting Bull climbed a hill, made powerful medicine. He returned waving a sacred bundle, shouting the Great Spirit's words. Soldiers come, but they will fall. The next morning, scouts brought warning. Sitting Bull ordered decoy lodges, empty tents to mislead the re-scouts. Then he left to pray, returning only after the battle. Gall commanded. Crazy Horse led the Cheyennes. Goose, the Bannocks. I was no chief, but my Hunk Papa band fought like wolves. We knew the soldiers' horses were spent. Their scouts took the bait, thinking us few. When they split their forces, we rejoiced. Gall swept upstream to flank them. Long Hair's detachment crested the bluffs, and our young men sealed their rear. Their charge collapsed under our fire. Trapped, they dismounted in knots, every fourth man gripping horses. We closed in like a noose. Officers shouted, but in the dust, all uniforms looked alike. I never saw Long Hair fall. The Reese sang their death chant. They knew it was over. Then we broke upon them like a river smashing through a dam. The fury of battle and of vengeful triumph. We shot down the soldiers holding their horses, then sent the terrified animals stampeding by waving our blankets. Our women rounded up the exhausted ponies as the battle raged. I had sung my war song, breathed in the acrid gunpowder smoke. My mind was gone, replaced by pure battle fury. When I seized their flag, my pony collapsed beneath me. I slashed the straps free, sprang up, and crushed the flag-bearer's skull with my war club. Running back through the chaos with their banner, I felt triumphant. This was a warrior's moment. Our fighters roared approval as we pressed the attack. Hot blood and brain matter splattered across my face, the metallic taste filling my mouth. Consumed by rage, I mounted a fresh pony and charged back into the slaughter, shooting, slashing, relentless. When that horse fell, I grabbed another. Then I saw him. Little Hare. My blood oath memory burned bright. Protected by my white weasel tail charm, I fought like a man possessed. Bodies fell as I carved toward him. When our eyes met, I laughed at his terror. His lips moved in prayer or pleading. The gunfire drowned his words. One revolver shot to his chest settled our score. I don't remember dropping my gun. Leaping down, I sliced out his still-beating heart, took a savage bite, and spat it in his dead face. Waving the grisly trophy, I rode from the field, my vengeance complete. Scalping seemed unnecessary. My promise was kept. The aftermath and divided leadership. While I withdrew, our women finished the wounded, collecting spoils, harvesting boot leather, even severing fingers for rings. They searched vainly for Longhair's scalp. His short hair and lack of uniform hid him among the dead. That night's victory celebration featured feasting and scalp dances. Sitting Bull claimed credit. "My medicine made you brave." But Gall countered, "We won the fight while you made magic." Their rivalry split the camp. Some followed each chief, while, like me, many warriors followed neither. When scouts reported approaching artillery, we moved north across the border. I remained there until Sitting Bull's return brought me home. This story, never before told to white men, now leaves my lips satisfied. The truth is told. The unanswered questions and Rain's legacy. When Rain fell silent, I pressed him. "If you didn't kill Long Yellow Hair, who did?" His answer was blunt. "No one knows. The battle was chaos, like fighting blind." Mac then asked why Custer escaped scalping when others hadn't. "Bravery doesn't spare a man from scalping," Rain scoffed. "The women searched. He must have been buried under corpses." When questioned about Curly, the Crow scout who claimed to have fled the battle, Rain's contempt was clear. "Curly lies. His horse gave out, and he ran. A coward, not a warrior." The last living witness. Now, around 60 winters old, Rain stands as the sole surviving chief from the Little Bighorn. He scratches his name in English letters, but grasps little of their meaning. Though he understands most spoken English, his speech remains broken, perhaps 30 rough words, barely decipherable to white ears. True to his people's ways, Rain shows gratitude only for future kindness, never past favors. His courage is unquestioned, but his morals follow the old warrior's code. Yet when he gives his word, he keeps it, though convincing him to pledge anything requires endless patience. Despite his age, he remains powerfully built, the very image of Cooper's noble savage. His redeeming quality? Once promised, he never breaks his word. But extracting that promise tests even the most persistent man. This rare first-hand account offers new light on that fateful June day in 1876. Not the sanitized legend, but the raw truth from the last man standing who could tell it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and turn on notification to enjoy more videos from this channel.